All right. So let me send this out to people. All right. Legendary creatures. A number of legendary creatures appear in Germanic mythology, such as the Daers, the the Desars, the Fire, the Amphayar, the Draugrs, the Dwarves, the Elves, as well as the Yarks, the Elton, Goblins, Giants, Trolls, and Dragons. During the Middle Ages, Germanic people are converted to Christianity, suddenly Germanic, or yada yada yada. Anyways, moving on to Anglo-Saxons. A little known about the cosmology of beliefs of the Anglo-Saxon paganism. Converted sandmarks and samples of such suggestions of that of ever communities with Anglo-Saxon England, likely its own take on cosmology through suggestions of that there were might have been a undulating system of that Woden sharing and later Anglo-Saxons number of herbs charms mentions seven words of seven which of to be references to early paganism, cosmology, beliefs centered embedded charms, and Christian kings Oswald of Normandy defeated a pagan rival at Gearplan Meadows called Heathfield Felt, which may be a reference to pagan beliefs in the heavenly planet of the Anglo-Saxon concept of faith wielding through pagan the plan that the Anglo-Saxon considered to faith as wielding through pagan natural nature of comparing concepts of subject to some debates of Dorian Whitelock suggestions of Paul was believed that held only the Christians, and while Branstone maintained that Whiteworth had been Walden imported concepts of Anglo-Saxons and suggestions that he was concerned Icelandic terms Arden and Thus, the concept of connecting the concept to three sisters of the Norn, who overseen the recordings of Norse mythologies, and possibly that of pre-Christian Anglo-Saxon hell beliefs in apocalypse, more similar to the Norse, to later Norse and myth of Ragnarok. Through we have evidence terrifying the existence such as belief that the pre-Christian belief is that cosmology has been through that idea that the world tree had been centuries referring and the dream of root of Ron Poem. This idea may be bolstered if it is caused by some scholars to have agreement that the concept of the world tree may be divided from purpose of cosmology Indo-European roots that the historical Calvinist believes the Silvers believe Ptolemy concept that there is any Anglo-Saxon world would be likely that is directed comparatively to references to Norse textological sources. Only been streaming for 6 minutes. Anglo-Saxon paganism, a polytheist believes in imperatively believing in many deities. However, most Christian Anglo-Saxon writers had little more than no interest in the pagan gods. They thus discussed the taxation of the Anglo-Saxon world. For the god were also, and that they may be reflections of the place names of Asar, gods of Rigdar, and the Kent of Asar, gods islands in Warrenstead. The deities who hold some. We have most evidence of Woden, as traces of the occult are scattered, and more Woden widely rolling in the countryside of the then for others heathen deities, places, names, Woden, Wolsten, and elements of the been in practice so as references to Woden and the as a result of his name often being seen as a basic, such as the place of a name Wodenburg Broad and Wodenbroad Brown and the kins of Wolston, Woden deities Wodenshire and Woodland Clear or Woodens Wood, Derbyshire. Woden is also appears in the ancestor role of Anganazabi, kin to Woden, Eastern Anglo America, Mercy, result of the suggestions that the afterlaws stated of gods in the Christianity was producing, and he was also an instrument of the Etruscans. As the role of the ancestors, Woden appears as the leader of the wild hunt, and he was referring to that as a magical healer and the nine herb charm, directly paralleling the role of his German counterpart. Woden was Merberg internist. He is also often interpreted as being a contracted with the Norse god Odin, the High Old German Odin, and the old and he appears in the Old English ancestor Wednesday, a contract of Latin equations are the result of days and the weeks. It is has been the suggestions that is was knowing grammar as a name which has appeared in such English Grandpalm and Darkened, Rampart, Norfolk, and Grammas Village, Lincolnshire, because of the importance of Norse mythology, the gods Odin and the Germanic grammar, highlighting that there are twice many grams of places in England. Woden is the names of places scholars might merging and stating grammar was always Grammar was always an asset with Woden and Anglo-Saxon England. Second most Woden deity from Anglo-Saxon England was the god Thor. Has been a suggestion that the hammer and the swastika were the god's symbols. So here's something telling you about the swastika, and it has nothing to do with ideology. This is on Wikipedia too. So all this nonsense that it has something to do with India is nonsense. Thunderbolts and both these symbols have been angles engraved, and to the later being of common corset origin, large numbers of therefore the places of futures. These I'm not a strong reader. Woods are clearing of the woodland. Wood among them. Thursday, Essex, the deity's name appears in compounds of the witch's work. Therefore, thunder and opening, inserting, all heathen can. Hold on, I've been streaming for 12 minutes, and that's all I'm going to read for today. So, goodbye.